Today we'll be talking about credit cards. You're really confused whether you should have a credit card, should you be using one because of the high interest rates on them. So let's answer a very important question. Should you be using a credit card or not? So if you're those people who get a monthly salary, right? So say if your salary is 1 lakh and or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs and you get that monthly payout and you're assured of that payout coming to you at a fixed date at the end of every month or the beginning of every month, you know that 1 lakh is going to come to you, and if you have a credit card and you spend a certain amount of money, you know that you can give back that money at the end of when your salary comes in or when your payout happens or when your rent comes in. So then a credit card makes sense for you. But if you're those individuals you're a freelancer, or you don't have a job right now, you're a student, or you are thinking that, okay, let me spend this X amount of money, I'm getting a credit card with a good limit on it, say 5 lakhs. Imagine you get a credit card with 5 lakhs limit on it, and your salary is 1.5 or 2 lakhs, and you make a spending of 5 lakhs on it, and you think, okay, I'll do some gigs, or I'll trade on the stock markets, or I'll sell some investment of mine and then pay back that money. So if you're looking to do that kind of arrangement within a month and paying back that money, then ideally this credit card is not for you. So if you don't have fixed income coming in, then ideally stay away from credit cards, because credit cards have very high interest rates for not making a payment on time. So before we delve into exactly what are the advantages and disadvantages of a credit card, let's look at what is a credit card business, why does a bank do it. So it'll help you understand how credit cards work and how you should use it. The bank actually issues a credit card, which is basically a pre-approved credit limit for its users. Once it has that, you can do spendings on your credit cards, and you have to pay that after your credit card gets billed, which generally happens in 30 days. You get a 15 to 20 day period to pay back that amount you spent on your credit card. For those 30 plus 15, 20 days or 50 days, let's assume 50 days, you don't have to pay any interest rate on your credit card, and the bank does not get any money from it. So if you are a regular user and a disciplined individual who spends the money on his credit card and makes a payment on his credit card within time, and everyone is doing that, then the bank will not make any money on their credit card business. They in fact default. So what they want people is who spend money on their credit cards but do not pay the full amount, rather than just pay the minimum amount and rotate the money for next month. So people who do that, they actually end up paying an interest rate as high as 36 to 40%. So that is one way of money for the bank, that they charge you a very high interest rate of 36 to 40% on your credit card. The second way the bank makes money is they have tied up different merchants, and they've said if a customer buys on your platform or buys from your store. So say imagine you using your credit card on buying on Amazon or Swiggy or at a store. The credit card company will primarily take a cutback on the amount that you spend on. So they'll take around 2%, 1.5% depending on how good their bargaining power with this merchant is. So if it's Amazon, they probably have less bargaining power, and if it's your local vendor, they'll have a higher bargaining power. The reason why a merchant will agree to give that money is because it increases its sales. The presumption taken over here is customers don't have money, and in order to make them spend in advance without having money in their pocket, they tend to spend higher, and you will also earn more money because the shops and the merchants get more sales from their business. This is how the credit card business works. But banks love revolvers, for that matter, people who do not pay that money back. Banks obviously do not want people who will default on their payment also. So they have to make this choice that people are not very regular, and people who are not going to default on their credit card. So they want people who are undisciplined but do have the paying capacity to make sure that they pay the money in it, the entire money, after they probably revolving a little bit amount, or for revolving for 1 month or 2 months. As a customer, you should ask, what is your advantage in using a credit card? So the first advantage, very big advantage of yours, is safety. The safety is because when you use a credit card, the money is not going from your savings account. The money is getting spent from the bank's money is getting spent. So if some theft happens, which can happen on an online place or a petrol pump or at a shop, your credit card gets stolen. So if it was your debit card, the money from your savings account So imagine you have a emergency fund or some amount of money, say 5 lakh, 10 lakhs kept there, and the thief can actually take out all the money from your savings account, and then you go run around the police station and the bank, try to get your money back, and the chances of getting that money back is very low. Now, if you spend on a credit card, the amount of exposure is only up to a certain amount. And if you report that there's been a theft from your credit card, there's firstly an insurance amount on it, and the bank will actually block your card. And if you report it within 3 days, they ideally don't put that blame on you, and that amount goes into dispute. And once they find out that something has happened, you can actually the bank will actually release that amount or waive off that amount because the theft has taken place. So that's a very big advantage when you have a credit card. Second very big advantage is obviously you get an interest-free period of 50 days. So you have money in your savings account, even if you're spending it, you'll earn some interest on it. So for that 50-day period, you can, if you use your card regularly and make your payments regularly, it is an interest-free money which is there for you. Third is, it can be used as a credit limit for emergencies. So especially if you have someone in your family who gets sick and you don't have money kept at the house, you can always use a credit card in the hospital. Say if it's 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, you can actually make that payment in cases of emergency or special occasions where you don't have money and you need to spend and pay later. You can easily do it from a credit card. Another very big advantage of the credit card is when the bank makes money from these merchants, they want you to spend more and more from the card. So they give you freebies or reward points, which are quite good. So if you are using a credit card, you would spend it for buying, spend it for paying your children's school fees or booking your airline tickets or doing hotel bookings. If you're using your card regularly and you pay or make your payments as well regularly, then you get a lot of reward points for using your card. So remember the 2% I talked about the banks make, they actually give you a certain part of that money as cashback or rewards for you to make spendings or using your card. So they also make money and they give a certain part of that money back to you. So you can get good reward points from your credit card. Nowadays, a lot of new age startups have come into this NBFC place and making these credit cards. A lot of marketing is happening. So be careful on which cards you use. Look at what are the advantages and disadvantages of using a credit card or a particular credit card, and then make your choice accordingly. So some cards will say, okay, rather than paying in 45 days, we'll give you 3 months to pay. Or some cards will give you a lower interest rate in case you miss your payment. So rather than charging you 36-40%, they'll charge you only 18 to 25% or a lower rate of 15%. So these new startup companies have made certain changes and try to take away the disadvantages from credit card. So you can choose and see which one works for you. Some gives you better reward points for using their card on certain websites. They give you free petrol. So depending on which card works for you and what you spend on, you can do your analysis on that. Another important thing is when you use a credit card, make sure that you make your payments on time. So financial discipline is the most important thing. And when you do that, your credit rating improves. So if you have a loan and you make your payments regularly, your credit ratings will go higher. And in the future, if you need a loan, say a personal loan or a business loan or a mortgage loan or a home loan for any work, your credit rating would be good and it will help you get a low loan at a much lower rate than what other people are getting, and probably get it easier as well. So it will help you maintain a good credit rating, probably a good CIBIL score as well. So keep an eye on your CIBIL score, make your payments on credit cards regularly, and if you like the content of our video, please hit the subscribe button, like the video and share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our future videos.